Fresh off their first bowl game in 3 years, Randy Edsall's bunch returned 17 starters from last season, 9 of them on offense, and all eyes will be focused on All-American candidate Stefon Diggs.
You work hard to get to this point, and you need to continue to put the work into it so you can exceed expectations and try to maximize your potential.
Diggs is an electrifying playmaker, a blue chipper. His pure speed and elusiveness have made him one of the most dangerous wide receivers and kick returners in the entire nation. Once he's got a step on you, forget about it.
I can't really explain it to you. You only know when you're out there. That's how you get the best feeling, but I can't explain it to you that much. But just know it's exciting. I would say it's breathtaking because you are going to be tired if you run long enough, but it's just a lot of fun.
Stefon's 2013 campaign was cut short after suffering a broken leg Week 7 against Wake Forest. But that's ancient history now.
If you try to take it easy or do things like that, that's when you actually do get hurt. So I trust my leg and to do everything I wanted to do, and I look forward to the season just to show people that I'm back.
With Diggs now healthy, senior quarterback C.J. Brown will have the daunting task of leading the Terrapins into the powerful Big Ten Conference.
I'm excited, because this being my last year, I get to go to, the big venues in the Big Ten. So, at Wisconsin, Penn State, the Big House down in Michigan. So, we're definitely excited and look forward to those challenges.
The so-called experts aren't giving Maryland a whole lot of love. The Terps are picked to finish 5th out of the 6 teams in the Big Ten East Division.
We definitely have a chip on our shoulder. To be able to have those doubters, out there is the only motivation to continue to go out there and work every day.
A lot of people have different opinions about us, and we have an opinion about ourselves as well, but what's most important is that we go out and show it each week, that we belong in this conference, so I'm looking forward to that.
You just take the good with the bad and just move forward. There's going to be a lot of motivation. People don't expect you to do much. It's always good to be an underdog.
Maryland finishes the regular season at home against Rutgers. It's also the homecoming of former Terrapin head coach Ralph Friedgen, who's the Scarlet Knights offensive coordinator. It should be an emotional moment for Terps fans and players like Brown, who played for Ralph 4 years ago.
It'll be special, without Coach Friedgen, I wouldn't be in this position. I wouldn't be here at the University of Maryland, so I have all the respect for him in the world, him and his family. It'll definitely be a special day, being senior day. I'll be looking forward to seeing him after the game.
An officer and a gentleman, and a Heisman candidate? At the Naval Academy, Keenan Reynolds is going for the trifecta.
Every kid growing up wants to win Heisman. I'm not gonna lie to you and say I didn't. Growing up, my thoughts were I gotta win Heisman.
An officer, Reynolds is set to serve his country after graduation. A gentleman, spend some time with Keenan, and that becomes apparent very quickly. And about that Heisman.
It's able to happen, great. If not, I don't think he's worried about that too much.
Keenan Reynolds is Navy's dynamic quarterback and most valuable player. He is coming off a sophomore season that was off the charts. Reynolds set an NCAA record with 31 rushing touchdowns by a quarterback.
I've said this last year and the year before that he's as good as I've been around.
Pretty impressive, considering Reynolds was told he was too small to be able to play at the so-called big-time college football programs.
It was tough, it's kind of like disappointing. You get your hopes up, you're so excited to go play or try to get looked at by a big school. And then when you're told that, you're not quite big enough, it's just kind of, for me, it was okay, I have to work now because I'm going to have to outwork everybody to even be seen or noticed. So let me get to grinding.
Listed at 5'9", 195 pounds, Reynolds is the perfect fit for Navy's option attack. He set an NCAA record with 7 rushing touchdowns in 1 game. That was against San Jose State last season. But what sets Reynolds apart from other recent Navy quarterbacks is that he can throw.
He's got great passing mechanics. His father and it's been his coach for many years, so he's got great passing mechanics, great accuracy, and athletically he's strong, he's fast, and he's a great listener.
Add it all up, and the national pundits have taken notice. Reynolds is considered a Heisman hopeful. A long shot, sure, but he is in the conversation.
I think it's exciting for him to be mentioned as one of the candidates. I know there's a few out there, but to even be mentioned in that category is a great accomplishment for him.
Head coach Ken Niumatalolo has spoken with Reynolds about the hype, Heisman, and otherwise.
We had a meeting early on, in the spring about, that you'd be getting some notoriety and some things, and being able to just manage all of the, the interviews and the press demands. But he's a mature young man, and I think he recognizes it comes with the territory.
He just reminded me to stay humble. That's been my motto. I don't want to be known as somebody that's arrogant and complacent, because I think that's the worst thing that you can be called as a football player.
At Navy, they know that Reynolds is a real dark horse for the Heisman because Reynolds doesn't play for one of the traditional powers. He would truly have to come from the back of the pack.
Is it sort of a fair fight?
Probably not, but it is what it is. Florida State, Oregon with Mariota, they'll be on television more than we are. They're in bigger, more high-profile games. We'd have to have a special season for him to be even considered. And he would have to have an even better year than last year. So I think he recognizes a lot of things are gonna have to fall in place. But I think his approach is just control what you can control.
Navy's last Heisman Trophy winner? Well, go way back a half a century. Roger Staubach, Roger the Dodger, in 1963.
I got a chance to meet him when we were in Fort Worth for the bowl game. Guy's a legend. Just did some amazing things and changed the play of the quarterback position, not just in college, but in the NFL. It's just, to even be in the same sentence as a guy is just mind-blowing.
The odds say that Keenan Reynolds probably will not follow in Staubach's giant footsteps, but what this midshipman will do is what he has always done: lead by example, on the field and off.
Kid's special, and he continues to work. That's the thing that's exciting. He's not resting on his past achievements. He's not a spoiled superstar, so to speak, for us. He's a guy that recognizes that he's getting a lot of publicity, but he has to come to work every day, and I think that's just made our team better, because when the star of your team is working as hard as everybody else, who can slack off?
I was talking to the superintendent out there, and he's an old pilot, and he said, one thing we used to say was, you're only as good as your last landing. So I'm only as good as my last game, so I have to keep pressing and keep working.
How much do you love your job? How much do you love work? If you even want to call it work, but how much do you love what you do?
Yeah, I don't call it work. It's a passion. I love my job, and I love the fact that we get to select here at Maryland. We're very choosy in terms of the recruits we go after. We don't have to take an at-risk student or a player from a chemistry, and we take great people and great families.
There's always a pressure, coming back. What's Brenda Free's going to do this year? What's her team going to look like this year? Do you ever feel that, or is it nothing to you?
That's my favorite part. Like when this year was 6 freshmen, 7 new players, and the unknowns, and really kind of molding your team throughout a season. We're still learning. Here we are late in February, and we're still learning. Different things about our team, of who's our best inbounder, who wants to handle pressure at the free throw line late games. So I love that opportunity when you talk about learning your team every single day.
You guys are off to the best start in school history. How cool is that?
It's awesome. Anytime I tell our team, anytime you can make history and leave your mark. Your legacy, is something that is really cool. But I think what's even more amazing about that is that's not what we set out to do. Those kind of things, the winning, best start in school history, it comes about when you just put in the work, you put your head down every day, and you have a mentality like this team has had, is they come in ready to work, ready to get better every single day.
What's stopping you guys from winning the whole thing?
Great question. We have to be the best 40-minute team, every time we step out on the floor, obviously. And on any given night, anyone can beat anyone. So for us, we want to control the things that we can control, which is our energy and our effort and our execution as a team. And I think when our energy and effort are really good, our execution as a team is going to be outstanding.